Hello there. In this video, I would like to explain the or summarize the course outline or the course actually. Of course, the course outline is summary of the course. So in this video, I would like to give you the course outline of management EBF 1313. So this is the course whereby everybody in the Faculty of Economics and Business must take. So this course is titled as Management. The synopsis of this course is that this course introduces you students to the environment of management and, more importantly, to the four principles of management, i.e., planning, organizing, controlling, and leading. So this is the synopsis of the course taken from the course outline. Okay, so this course sounds simple, but actually it is not. And then even this course is based from the title, it's generic, but actually it is not easy because you students are expected to perform at a level that is, well, if I would say it, to the level of over ambitious, i.e., the course outline, or rather, the course learning outcomes or the course objectives are overly ambitious. Okay, so this is a 3-credit course. 3-credit course. There is no prerequisite. And then there are 3 objectives or CLO, that is the course learning outcomes. So the first CLO. Now, if you have the outline handy, which you will get in the first day of lecture from eLeap, should be great. If not, then just bear with me and listen. So the first CLO1, explain the 4 functions of management. So this is the wording of this CLO is very mundane, and this is kind of set at the C2 level of the cognitive domain. The C2 level is where you have to exhibit understanding. It's not memorization, okay? It's not memorization, so it is understanding. In fact, in this course, there is no such thing as memorization. So that is the lowest level of in the cognitive domain set in this course at CLO1. Now, despite that this CLO is kind of easy sounding, but actually is not, because it requires you to understand a lot on your own. You cannot expect lecturers to spoon feed you, so to speak. Okay, so you students must take the initiative to read the textbook. As I've been telling in the other video, you gotta read the textbook, the whole of the textbook, but pay attention to the ones, okay, that are being covered in this course, which we will talk about later. So the second CLO, or the second course learning outcome, is to analyze the challenges and issues in contemporary management. This is set at the cognitive level 4, in which you are, or you must show your ability to analyze the situation. You have to analyze the challenges, okay, to analyze the situation, analyze the challenges in contemporary management. Again, it is not easy to achieve being set at the C4 level, more so if you have no background in management. But then again, this is the CLO or course objectives that are being set in this course. So going back to the first CLO, the CLO1, okay, the CLO1, in explaining the 4 functions of management that will be tested in the midterm, okay, midterm. The CLO2, the second objective, will be tested in the final exam. So the midterm exam, in which you have to exhibit your understanding in the 4 functions of management, that will have 30% of weighting, and the second CLO, which will be evaluated or assessed in the final exam, would have 40% weighting. Okay, and then the third CLO, initiate solutions to improve real-life organizational performance in the context of the 4 management functions. This is set at effective domain 3. Now, again, effective domain 3, well, actually, honestly, I don't know why it is being set at the effective domain 3, because I'm not the one that wrote the course learning, the course outline. But as I've been telling you, this is where you have to give recommendations. And again, like the first 2 CLOs, these third objective is not easy to do, because we cannot simply give recommendations, but you must give recommendations in the context of the 4 functions. So you must understand the 4 functions first. Then, of course, you must understand organizational performance. That is difficult to do, guys and girls. So those are the 3 learning outcomes or course objectives of this course. So this course runs, or the duration of this course takes the 14 weeks of the semester. Okay, so you have all these learning units or topics. Okay, learning units or topics which fits into the 14 weeks, and including this, in the final 2 weeks of the semester, okay, would be the group project presentation. So let us go through the contents. Okay, the contents of this EBF 1313. Of course, today I'm giving you the overview of this course. In this video, I'm giving you the explanation on the course outline. In the real lecture or in the online lecture, I will give you much more than just the course outline. But here, the focus is on the course outline. So this is part of the overview. The reason why I do this video is that this video will save me time so that I can give a more kind of in-depth overview of management and management function. Okay, so that's the thing of this week. Okay, the first week, okay, will be about the overview of this course and the overview of management functions. Of course, this will be discussed in the online lectures. So to know more about that, please attend the lectures. So that will be the main idea of the first week. Of course, okay, this course will take about well, 3 hours, but actually, or in reality, it would be less, because practically span of attention, okay, of students cannot go beyond 1 hour through my experience. After that, you need to have more and more breaks. So that is the first uh, topic, or the first learning unit, to give you the overview of this course. And then the next one, okay, the second learning unit will be to discuss the environment of management, which consists of two actually, okay, the external environment and the internal environment. So what happened here is that the external environment will be discussed a lot in the second learning unit, as opposed to the internal environment, because the internal environment is the four functions of management. So, so that will be discussed starting in the third learning unit. Now, with regards to the external environment, the main idea here is that students, or you taking this course, must be able to appreciate, must be able to know what is going on. Okay, know what is going on and know what would happen in the future, because this has a lot of significance to the third learning unit, that is managerial planning and goal setting. So that will be the third learning unit. So the second week will be used by me to impress upon you the importance of being able to analyze what is going on and what would happen, because that will have an impact on your managerial planning and goal setting. And this is where, starting the third, and in fact during the second week, and of course I will start even in the first week, to introduce to you the two most important imperative in management. And we are focusing on business management, okay? So the first imperative is to achieve, sustain, and enhance competitive advantage. The second imperative, in undertaking the first imperative, the business organization cannot harm or put into harm or put into any kind of disadvantage by reducing welfare, etc., to any one of its stakeholders. So these two imperatives will be the guiding light of managerial planning and goal setting. Okay, so that we learning unit 3. And the fourth, the follow-up, okay, would be to strategize, to formulate strategy, and to come up with an implementation plan. Okay, that will be the main thing in the fourth learning unit. The fifth learning unit would be managerial decision making, to introduce upon you some basic ideas of managerial decision making. Okay, some basic ideas, nothing too much, okay, nothing too heavy for you. So these basic ideas of managerial decision making, okay. And then I think this would be the 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth learning unit, would be organizational structures, because once you have the plan, okay, an implementation plan, you need to have a structure so that you can organize your resources to achieve those plans effectively and efficiently. So that's organizational structures. Then managing change and innovation will be the next learning unit. Change and innovation, okay, is a constant in the marketplace. Okay, so people must embrace change and innovation. How do you do that? How do you do that? That will be the main thing that will be discussed in that learning unit, managing change and innovation. Because if you cannot do that, you will not be able to achieve the first imperative. Okay, the first imperative, that would be to attain, sustain, and enhance competitive advantage. Then the next learning unit will be diversity in the workplace. Diversity in the workplace is a popular topic in management textbooks, so we will discuss about that. And diversity in the workplace is not just popular because it's fashionable, but because it will have an impact in the ability of the organization to innovate, ability of the organization to embrace change. Then we go for leadership. Okay, leadership. Okay, we go for the learning unit of leadership. Here we will talk about some basic ideas or the main ideas of leadership concepts and several leadership theories, okay, from the traditional to the contemporary leadership theories. The main idea of leadership, okay, is that leadership is important, but it is not everything in the organization, because leadership undertakes the planning process. But nowadays there is less emphasis on leadership, okay, and more emphasis on innovativeness, okay, as we will be discussing. So okay, if you want to know more, to know this thing ahead of what I've been talking about today, you are more than welcome to read the textbook, of course. Okay, but we will discuss, okay, that nowadays leadership is not as important as it was last time. Okay, due to the changing marketplace, changing social conditions. Okay, leadership is not as important. Okay, then in the context of leadership itself, we will continue with the concepts on foundations of motivation. So leadership is important, but ultimately it's the people, the rank and file of the organization, that will get things to be done. So here you will be discuss some basic concepts of motivation. Okay, the basic concepts of motivation. And here, at least in my class, and in line with the what I say just now, that leadership is less emphasis, we will be emphasizing on one important model of motivation, that will be the job characteristic model. Okay, because this is in line with the current ideas of organization structure and the current thinking of leadership. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we get into the learning unit. So after the learning unit with regards to motivation, we will be discussing teamwork and communication. So teamwork and communication, okay, we'll be discussing on the development of teams, the transformation of groups into teams, okay, and then the idea of communication, the best form of communication in line with the contemporary thinking on organizational structures, leadership, okay, and of course the contemporary ideas of motivation itself is that communication must be open, okay, communication must be open, okay, everything must be done openly, okay, so transparency is important, okay, there should not be any secrets, or the main idea here is that whenever possible communication must be open. If there's such thing as secrets or things that cannot be communicated openly, that must be the exception rather than the norm. So that's the main idea, because it works. I mean, the open communication concept works well with teamwork. Okay, teamwork and open communication comes together. So that's the learning unit with regards to teamwork and communication. And finally, we will be discussing managerial and quality control. So that will represent the final component or the final function of management, that is control. Now, you should, if you wonder why managerial and quality control is only one learning unit, but then there are other learning units that represent the other functions of management, the answer is quite simple. Because nowadays, overt control processes such as to discipline people, to scold people, that is not fashionable, okay, because the main idea, okay, or the contemporary idea of management is not about beating up people to make them work, okay, but to get them to work, okay, on their own free will, because that would be much more sustainable. Okay, so we will talk about that later, and this is in line with that concept of the job characteristic model. And moreover, nowadays the planning function already embeds the control function. Okay, we will talk about that in much more detail as we go along this course in this semester. And then we have the final 2 weeks of the semester, which will be which the plan, okay, would be to dedicate time for people to present. Okay, so I will be talking about the group project in another video, okay, or perhaps more appropriately, I will be talking about the group project in much more detail during the lectures. Okay, so the group project corresponds with the third objective. Okay, so we will talk about it next time. Okay, but this group project, okay, will take 30%. Okay, so this group project have two components: the writing component and of course the presentation component. So we'll talk more about that next time. Okay, now I have also discussed about the assessment, as I've been telling you. Okay, in which we have a midterm, mid-semester examination, or in this semester I would prefer to say it as mid-semester assessment. Okay, in which in my classes, now I cannot say about the other lecturers, but in my classes the midterm would be represented by two online quizzes. Okay, two online quizzes. Okay, more details about that in the lecture. Okay, two online quizzes. So that's the main idea of the midterm. Okay, and then of course, just before we talk about midterm, I was talking about the group presentation. So that would represent the assignment. The assignment have two components: the report and then the presentation. So together that will give you 30%, and then the final 40% would be assessed during your final examination. Again, the details of the final exam would be discussed much more in the coming weeks. Suffice to say that there is no such thing as memorization. Okay, there is no such thing as memorization. In fact, here I would like to take this opportunity that I sincerely hope that people will not be stressed out by all of the assessment, because even for the midterm, it will not come as a surprise. Okay, it's not like I will simply give questions and then out of the blue, okay, because understandably this, okay, I mean, in your situation it is difficult enough if you come for the face-to-face learning, much more for the online. Okay, so we have class activities that will help you to prepare for midterm and final. Okay, so if you participate in the class activity in an honest way, okay, honest way, provided that you also read the textbook and take my advice with regards to doing textbook notes for the chapters that are covered, okay, in the course outline, and pay attention to the lectures, be active in the lectures, ask questions in class. You will do well in this course. Okay, so if you have the course outline, of course, if you have the course outline, you would be kind of confused with regards to the format of the course outline. I'm afraid I can't do anything much because the format follows certain formulas in which you might not understand. But suffice to say that I have given you enough information, and if you care to look at item 12, or the second last item, so here we have the references for the course. Now, the details of the references would be explained in class. But here, if you look at the course outline, these are textbooks of management or principles of management. As I've been telling you, this course is a generic course. Okay, but, or rather, albeit that the CLOs are overly ambitious, in which ultimately you are required, okay, to be able to analyze the contemporary management thinking, okay, or rather the kind of contemporary challenges and issues in management. Okay, that will be part of your final, and of course you have to be able to understand the four functions of management and to initiate recommendations or solutions in the context of those four functions of management. Okay, so that will be the challenge. So the textbook here in this class, you are free. Of course, it is up to you to buy the textbooks. They can be bought by you on your own free will, online textbooks or whatever. Okay, of course, if you buy the printed copy, that will be expensive. Less expensive would be the online. Nevertheless, if you do not want to buy the textbook, I have provided a couple, or rather two, okay, but you need to read only one, and I recommend you to read the most recent version of the textbook that I got from the Open Library or OpenStax. Okay, so more details about that in the class, but a good advice here would be that you can start to read your textbook. Okay, so that is the course outline for management, EBF 1313. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section of this video. This is a YouTube video, or you can ask me in class. So I wish you all the best and see you again in the next video.